You click this because you want to improve yourself right now, not next week, not someday, but immediately. Here's the truth most people won't tell you. If nothing changes, your life doesn't stay the same. It gets worse, slowly, quietly, almost invisibly, because the small things you ignore today turn into the problems you suffer from tomorrow. But here's the twist. Improving your life doesn't start with massive action. It starts with something so small, most people overlook it. Before we get into that, tell me where you're watching from. Let's step back for a second. Why should you even bother improving yourself? Not for success, not for money, not even for happiness. You do it so you don't suffer more than necessary. That's the real reason. Because if you don't organize your life properly, you will pay for it. And not just you. The people around you will feel it too. Your stress becomes their stress. Your habits affect their lives. Your inaction creates consequences. You might think you don't care, but that's not true. Because the moment real pain hits, you will care. No one sitting in serious suffering ever says, "This is fine. I'd rather stay here." Pain forces clarity. And that's why self-improvement isn't optional. It's survival. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most people think improving themselves means changing everything at once. New habit, new routines, new mindset. That's where they fail. Because real change doesn't start big. It starts small, so small it almost feels pointless. But that's exactly why it works. Think about your room, not metaphorically, literally. Walk into it right now. At first glance, everything seems okay. But look closer. There's something out of place, something unfinished, something slightly annoying. A pile of clutter, a messy desk, something you've been ignoring. That's not random. Your brain is pointing at something. And here's the key idea. If something in your environment bothers you and you can fix it, then you should. Because fixing small things changes your environment, and your environment shapes your behavior. But here's the real question. What happens when you start fixing more than just one thing? Because one small fix feels insignificant, but 10? That changes something. 100? That changes everything. Your life doesn't transform in one moment. It transforms through accumulation, small improvement, repeated daily. And this is where most people completely misunderstand life. They ignore the things they do every day. Brushing teeth, scrolling phones, morning routine. They think those things don't matter. But those small actions make up most of your life. If you improve what you do daily, you improve your entire life. That's not motivation, that's math. Because what you repeat every day shapes who you become. Your habits aren't small, they're everything. But here's where most people go wrong. They try to fix everything at once. Big problems, complex situations, things they don't fully understand. And that's dangerous, because not every problem is yours to solve. Imagine walking down the street. You see someone dealing with serious issues, addiction, mental struggle, chaos. That's a real problem, but you don't have the skill to fix it. If you jump in blindly, you don't help. You get hurt. So here's the rule. Fix what you can control. Ignore what you can't. That's not weakness, that's intelligence. Because when you focus only on what's within your reach, you actually make progress. And here's where it gets powerful. The moment you decide to improve something, even something small, your brain changes. It starts searching for solutions. It starts noticing problems. It starts highlighting what needs attention. Why? Because your mind responds to direction. Give it a clear target, and it begins to work for you instead of against you. This is how awareness grows. This is how momentum starts. And this leads to one important question. What happens when you aim your attention the right way? Because your focus shapes your reality more than you think. So before we go further, if you're still watching, subscribe. Because what comes next is the part that changes everything. Your brain doesn't show you reality. It shows you what you're looking for. And that changes everything. There's a famous experiment. People watch a video and count basketball passes. While they're focused, something strange happens. A person in a gorilla suit walks straight through the scene, and most people never see it. Not because it wasn't there, but because they weren't looking for it. That's how your mind works. You don't see everything. You see what you aim at. So if your life feels chaotic, one question matters more than anything else. What are you aiming at? Because your aim shapes your perception. If your focus is scattered, your life feels scattered. If your focus is negative, your world feels negative. But if your focus is improvement, everything shifts. You start noticing opportunities. You see problems you can solve. You find things you can fix. Your environment changes. Your behavior changes. Your results change. All because your aim changed. But here's the danger. If your aim is wrong, you build the wrong life. Slowly, silently, without realizing it. That's why this matters. Not next year. Right now. because every day you aim at something, even if you don't realize it. So the real question is, what are you aiming at today? Now let's bring this together. Improving yourself isn't complicated, but it does require something most people avoid. Honesty, not the kind where you say, yeah, I'll do better someday. Real honesty, the kind where you look at your life and admit what's actually not working. You don't overthink it. You don't make excuses. You just observe. You look at your habit. You look at your environment. You look at your daily action, and something will stand out. Something will stand out. Something small. Something slightly off. Something you've been ignoring. That's where you start. You notice what's wrong. You fix what you can, and then you repeat that process again and again and again. That's it. No secret formula, no complex system, no overnight transformation, just small actions done consistently. And here's what most people don't realize. Those small actions don't feel powerful in the moment. Cleaning your desk doesn't change your life instantly. Waking up 10 minutes earlier doesn't feel like success. Finishing one small task doesn't feel like progress. But over time, something starts to shift. Your environment becomes cleaner. Your habits become stronger. Your mind becomes clearer. And slowly, almost quietly, your life begins to improve, not in a dramatic movie-like way, but in a steady, reliable way. And steady wins, because big changes feel exciting, but they don't last. They burn fast. They fade quickly. They depend on motivation. But small changes, they build, they stack, they compound. That's where real transformation comes from. Now here's something most people completely miss. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need to solve your entire life today. That's overwhelming. That's unrealistic. That's why people quit. Instead, you focus on one thing, just the next thing, one step, one action, one improvement. That's how momentum starts. And momentum is everything. Because once you have momentum, things feel different. Starting becomes easier. Continuing becomes natural. Progress becomes automatic. You're no longer forcing yourself to act. You're moving forward because that's what you do now. And this is the shift most people never reach. They keep waiting for motivation. They wait until they feel ready. But that feeling never comes consistent, so they stay stuck. But when you build momentum, you don't need motivation. You have direction. And direction is far more powerful because direction tells you what to do, even when you don't feel like doing it. It removes confusion. It removes hesitation. It removes wasted time. You simply act, and action creates progress. But here's the final piece, and this is the part most people ignore. Everything you've just heard means nothing without action. Understanding doesn't change your life. Thinking about change doesn't change your life. Only action does. So here's what you do right now, not later, not tomorrow. Today, fix one thing, just one. Make it simple. Maybe you clean your room. Maybe you organize your desk. Maybe you finish that one task you've been avoiding. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you act. Because that one action does something powerful. It proves to yourself that you can change things, and that changes everything. So start there. One action, one improvement, one step forward, then build from it. And once you do that, come back and watch the next video because it will show you exactly how to turn that one step into unstoppable discipline. Start now.